Hi my friends, I hope that I find you well today. I know we're still going through crazy time with everything that's going on, but I do hope that everything is going well for you, and that regardless of what's going on, that you're still healthy and happy. I'm going to be talking to you today about protection. I did a previous video just a couple of weeks ago on how to protect yourself before you go into astral projection. So if you haven't seen that video, you can check it out on my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be talking to you about extra protection, because what I've noticed is that people, when they start to do metaphysical work, or when people are starting to do spiritual work, there's not many people who talk about self-protection. And self-protection to me is the starting point to be able to do safe work, to be able to not have different kind of energy interacting with you or bothering you while you're doing your extra work. Or like if you're going to be doing, as I said, astral projection, you want to be protecting yourself so nobody's bothering you while you're doing your astral projection. I also noticed that when people are talking about doing meditation, they just relax, do what they need to do, and then off they go, and they go and they do their meditation, and they're essentially in a state of altered consciousness, where the body is left without any protection. And to me, protection is really, really, really important. Just because you can't see an energy, that doesn't mean that it cannot interact with you. So that's where I usually start with everything. Whether I do meditation or any other kind of work, I always use protection first. I heard some stories about people when they go into astral projection the next day, or maybe in their house, they start seeing weird shadows and things moving around in the corner of their eyes, and they're just wondering if, is that real? And then they're uncomfortable, and then they block themselves from doing any extra work in astral projection. Sorry if you hear somebody scream, it's my son. I'm a single mom, so I want to do these videos, but there's gonna be back noise because he's just playing. So back to our protection. Now I'm bringing you 3 different methods. It's going to be quick videos, but there's 3 different methods that you can use that are really simple to help protect yourself. These are the main methods that I usually use, and they're all really effective. I'm gonna add a 4th one, which is I'm just gonna repeat the same thing that I had said before in my previous video for astral projection. So usually when I talk about protecting myself, if I'm gonna start doing a meditation or any other type of work, I usually create a light protecting bubble around my physical body. Sometimes I will extend that light protecting bubble to my house, because I have my son that's living with me as well, and I want him to be protected while I'm doing my work. I also don't want to have any negative energy or any other energy just to enter my home while I'm not aware of it physically, right? It's a little bit the same thing as like if you're gonna be going outside, you don't just go outside if it's raining without putting any protection on yourself. You don't just leave your house like that. You usually put your coat on to make sure that you don't get wet. Simple enough. Those are just common sense things that we do. The same thing has to be applied for when you're doing metaphysical work or energy work. Protection is key. So the first item that I'm going to show you that I usually use after I do my light protecting bubble around myself and my house and everybody else who I want into that space is I would also usually burn an incense. Now this is sage. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to try and bring it closer, and this one is really thick. I've been using it for a while. I don't use much of it because I've done a lot of work with sage before, so my house is already protected. So I use this one just for when I want a little bit of extra protection, when I feel like it's necessary. So this is sage, and all you do with this, and before I do start with playing with fire, please make sure that you're safe, that you always have water, and the area that you're working is not gonna lit on fire. So make sure that you think about those safety measures before you do start playing with sage or any lighting candles or anything like that. Especially if you're gonna do it while you're meditating, make sure that you're safe and that nothing is gonna light on fire, basically. So this is sage. Usually it's used by the Native of American, but now it's widely used, you know, by all kinds of practitioners. But it's very strong. I would also suggest that before you do use sage, because it smokes a lot, turn off your alarm system. That's usually what I do if I'm gonna be saging my whole house. If I feel the need for it, I usually turn off my alarm system, otherwise it's just gonna freak out. And yeah, so you don't want that. And then just remember to turn them back on once you're done. Sage is great because it's going to ground the area that you're working, and it's also going to add a shield of protection, in essence of aroma, which turns away negative energies. So, and you don't need to use a lot of it. I would usually just cut out a little twig like this, and then I would smudge myself with it, smudge the little area that I want to work. You can use the whole thing, but as I said, it's going to create a lot of smoke. So you have to make sure that you air the area very well after you're done. And it's very, very effective. So that's for sage. The second mode of protection that I use is going to be essential oil. So, and with essential oil, just like with different herbs that you can use, you have to look at the different kind of protection that you're needing. So different herbs you can attribute different herb to different mode of protections. And so this one is what I use when I don't really need the heavy smoking environment feeling around me. I usually use essential oil, and essential oil is not so overwhelming. I usually use my essential oil in a diffuser. This is what I call a diffuser. I don't know if you can see it. It has a container top that has water. I'm gonna try and show you. That has water in it. So you would usually fill this container with water and then add a few drops of essential oil, or however much that you need. And this one uses electricity, but there are different methods that you can use, you know, to burn your essential oil. And essential oil, the same thing as with incense, provides an aroma of protection around your area. Method of protection that I usually use is probably one of my favorite one, and that is crystals or gemstones. I love these because they're very simple. You can use them in a very simple way, and then there are elaborate ways as well that you can use crystals for protection and for other different kind of working, for sending energy healing as well. But for now, because this is a video for beginners, protective energy, you can just go to your crystal gemstone store. Well, right now I guess you have to do it online, and pick a crystal that's appealing to you. That's usually how I pick my crystal. I just look at them and pick the one that feels good to me. Usually if you go to a store, they would let you touch the crystal, and that's usually the best way to feel which crystal is more appealing to you. But if you're not able to do that, pick them by the color that's more appealing to you. And for the method of protection, very simply, what you're going to be doing is sit down in a meditative state after you've created your visual protective light. Now you're going to be visualizing the same kind of protective energy going into the crystal and engulfing you and your house and the people inside your house, if that's what you wish to do. And then the crystal is going to be left just beside you while you're doing your meditation or you're working your work. And when you're done, once you're done doing what you're doing, if you're just doing a meditation, once you're finished with your meditation, I would always suggest to go and rinse the crystal for any excess energy. And then that's it. This is for the beginning work of protection. If you're interested in knowing a little bit more about working with crystals or any other protective method that I've been speaking about in this video, subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell for more videos. I hope that you have enjoyed watching this quick video, and until I see you the next time, my friend, be well and namaste.